Hey everybody, welcome back to Up and Adam Channel 2. Okay. We are back to talk about sort of a mashup, almost like its own hot, messy topics, from Lisa Barlow's lawsuit to, well, what's going on with that, just to be fair. Margaret Joseph saying that she doesn't think that Louis and Teresa are going to last. I believe we're going to break that down as well. And Erika Jayne and the Tom Girardi legal situation. This is a lot. I'm like even looking at it in my phone like, here we go. Smash that like button if you guys are not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell and let's jump right in. I love a good mashup. I pressed the intro, took the intro off, put the intro back on. I think I'm just like trying to be on point with figuring out what the hell these stories are. But let's start with Salt Lake City. Oif, thinking all about the Real Housewives. Entrepreneur and Real Housewives of Salt Lake City cast member Lisa Barlow is being accused of not paying debts once again. In a new lawsuit filed on Tuesday in Salt Lake City County's 3rd District County, William McGreary claims that Lisa Barlow and her husband, John Barlow, owe him $400,000. According to the complaint, McGreary loaned the Salt Lake City couple the money to help cover expenses for their tequila brand, Vida Tequila. All right. This is the third time this year that someone has accused Lisa and her family of owing money related to their Vida Tequila brand. In June, a former business partner sued Lisa for $410,000 that she allegedly borrowed between 2010 and 2018. She said, "I pay my bills and obligations, and I always have." Well, since then, it came out from Radar Online. This was at 3:51 p.m. Pacific time yesterday. So it's like 6:51, 7:51, something like that. Lisa Barlow told TMZ her lawyers have notified her that this lawsuit was dismissed. So that would be a big win for her if the lawsuit was in fact dismissed. She's saying it. Listen, Lisa Barlow, she's not a stupid woman. The woman is very, very intelligent. She is not going to put out a statement saying that a lawsuit was dismissed if in fact it was not dismissed. And if she did do that, it's like when we were watching the Real Housewives of New Jersey finale and Melissa Gorga looked across the table at Jackie Goldschneider and she's like, "Jackie, if you did it, just say it now because it's gonna come out." It's like when you're a public personality, you don't really get to lie about shit. Because if you do, it catches up to you. And people dig, and fans sometimes don't have, sometimes they do it for fun. Sometimes they do it because they're bored. Sometimes they do it because they're on a mission and they don't like your ass. But whatever their motive is, they will find out. So hopefully, I think that Lisa Barlow is telling the truth. I believe that her lawsuit was dismissed. I'm going to go with that. Moving on, I want to talk about this. Thank you to Bravo Snark Side. I don't know how much of this you guys are still following, but Erika Jayne. Expenses, I guess, billed to Girardi Keese to be entered into evidence in Tom Girardi trial. Here we go.
That Erika Jayne will be called, that she'll have any role in this trial whatsoever. It doesn't thus far, does it?
No, she's not going to have any role in the trial other than the $25 million that'll be discussed that was given to her company and given to her. And it's funny, her lawyers have sent out all these written statements to all the media, saying, trying to make it very clear that she hasn't been charged with any crimes and that, that her companies didn't just receive money, that her vendors, sent invoices to the law firm directly, like as if, we can just write off the fact that. So Erika thought it was okay for the law firm to pay for her makeup artists. Like she had to know that that wasn't right. Even if she didn't know what the specific law was that it was breaking or, what the business practices should have been. It's ridiculous for her lawyers to make it sound like, she's just so innocent.
And it was clear that money from the law firm was propping up her company.
so clear that the judge is allowing it as evidence. So I think it's crystal clear, really. And they could try to muddy it all they want. One of the interesting things about, in connection to Erika is, we've seen the story about the designer Marco, that was in Housewife and the Hustler too. And Chris, who's the owner of Marco, came on the first day of trial to support the victims of Tom Girardi. And I thought that said a lot about him. That was very classy of him to, come and support the victims. And it makes, it visible that, these people are intertwined, Tom and Erika. They were married. They filed taxes together. And, whatever the power dynamics were between Tom and Erika, at the end of the day, she benefited from it. And she wants to, both of them are claiming to be victims. What's the irony in that? Tom and Erika both say they're victims in all of this.
That Erika Jayne will be called, that she'll.
Not a victim. Not to me. Apparently to them, they are victims. I don't look at them like victims. I look at them like kind of like I'm going to reserve those opinions. I'm going to reserve my opinions. Mama told me if you don't have something nice to say, don't say it at all. And if you feel like you got to hold it in, you just start swinging. I'm just kidding, Mom. You never told me that. Okay, guys, let's continue on because Margaret Josephs has quite the prediction. Waif. Thank you to realityt.com. Real Housewives of New Jersey season 14 featured the nasty feud between Margaret Josephs and Teresa Giudice. Teresa and her husband, Louis Ruelas, believed that Margaret was involved in speaking to Louis' ex, who was embroiled in a court case with the New Jersey Star. Teresa hosted an informational sit-down, which we saw. It was led by her attorney, James Leonard, in an attempt to prove Margaret's involvement, and it was all a flop, honestly. But Margaret managed to participate from afar by sending a floral funeral arrangement to mourn Teresa and James' dignity. It was pretty savage, and now Margaret is weighing in on Louis and Teresa's future, predicting a breakup for the pair down the line. She was recently a guest on Two Teas in a Pod. When Margaret was asked if Louis and Teresa would stay together, she predicted that they would not. Although Margaret thinks that Teresa really, really loves Louis, she doesn't think that they will go the distance. Do I think this is forever? No. That's just my opinion. She also said that she wishes no ill on them. But of course, Margaret addressed the comments that Louis made about her son. I hope Margaret and her family suffer. I hope her fucking son suffers the way that I suffered. But Louis later apologized, but it made no difference to Margaret because unfortunately he is igniting. There's sick people in this world and they could have fans that are unwell. And that could be igniting people to do very harmful things. I agree with that, by the way. During the season 13 reunion, Margaret accused Louis of allegedly calling her son and threatening him. And Louis denied ever calling her son. But Margaret said on the podcast that she gave proof to both NBC Universal and Bravo. The network would never allow me to talk about it, say those things as a fact if they did not see the proof of it. They saw the proof of it. They know it to be true. As to why she hasn't shared the actual details of her son's alleged conversation with Louis, Margaret explained that her child is a private citizen and he does not want to be involved on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. She said, I can't blame him. Guys, I want to hear what your thoughts are. Pop off in the comment section, please. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. And we'll see you in a little bit. Love you guys.